The energy crisis is intensifying, and a new global energy war will shake the world. Germany, India clash over energy security. A company nationalized by the German government is refusing to export gas to India despite a contract from New Delhi. Tensions reached a boiling point days before the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia, as India discussed whether it needed to take the issue to justice. Global energy crisis enters new phase. Existing rules and alliances called into question. A new global energy battlefield has emerged, with countries making erratic and potentially dangerous decisions to maintain social and economic stability. For this global energy crisis, we should start from the G7 group. The price ceiling on Russian oil came into effect. The United States, the European Union, and their partners had put a cap on the price of Russian oil at $60 globally, although Ukraine was pushing for as low as $30 a barrel. The goal of the move is to hike the Russian economy. The European Union, meanwhile, has called for similar action against Gazprom. Russia has warned it will not export oil to countries that support price caps. Countries such as India have criticized the West's price caps, and there are early signs that they will step up purchases of Russian oil. The U.S. has warned that anyone who buys Russian oil above the price ceiling cannot use Western insurance or transportation services. The G7 is effectively weaponizing its financial and logistics industries to serve its geopolitical goals. Will Russian customers create their own alternatives? Will the G7 price ceiling divide the world? Eyes on West Africa. As Ghana grapples with its worst economic crisis in years, the country wants to stop paying for oil in dollars only and wants to pay for it in gold. For Ghana, the economic slowdown is an opportunity to build financial and energy sovereignty. The country can use its large gold resources in exchange for another resource needed for rapid development, namely oil. The Ghanaian government's Gold for Oil program aims to address dwindling foreign exchange reserves. Ghana's decision is also a warning to the United States. Since the end of World War II, the dollar has been the dominant currency in global trade, especially in the energy sector. How will Washington respond when a country whose economy is less than 1% of US GDP challenges the dollar's dominance? The focus then turns to the Middle East. Qatar and China signed a massive $60 billion 27-year gas deal in November. This new energy alliance will last until at least the 2050s. In addition, prior to the signing of the agreement, Europe tried unsuccessfully to encourage Qatar to increase energy exports to European countries. A similarly bold approach has been taken on the part of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Not only are Saudis considering pricing their oil in yuan, but they are selling energy cheaper to Asia than to Europe. Meanwhile, Russia requires some of its exports to India to be paid in USD dirhams, as the UAE does not prohibit Russia from transacting in its currency. Are Saudi Arabia and the UAE quietly waging a currency war against us? National energy decisions are shaping a new geopolitical status quo. The decades-long insistence that energy can be freely purchased on global markets using a single currency is being questioned or abandoned. These changes raise difficult questions about the future structure of the world. First, do global rules and systems still matter? The German government effectively cancelled an energy contract with India, citing unexpected political conditions. If Germany can do this, other countries can follow suit. From Africa to Latin America, countries that receive energy may refuse to pay, and countries that receive energy may refuse to export. Second, who will be next to join the energy war? So far, the energy battle has mainly revolved around Europe and Asia. But in November, the United States lifted some sanctions on Venezuela, potentially freeing up new oil supplies. Large-scale projects are underway in Africa and the Middle East to increase the supply of clean energy. More and more regions are entering this already crowded field. Furthermore, is vertical globalization accelerating? With frontier economies such as Ghana considering ditching the dollar and established energy centers such as Qatar opting for Asia over Europe, the old glue that holds the world together is losing its strength. The global economy is fragmenting, and countries of all sizes and cultures are rethinking their energy commitments to all customers. Finally, what role will the business play? The countries have been clashing over energy since Russia launched a special military operation against Ukraine in February. But the government's decision puts businesses at a crossroads. Switzerland, for example, is discussing a temporary ban on some electric vehicles as the energy crisis worsens. Who will be the next to be involved in the energy dispute? Tesla, BMW, or Mercedes? As the fallout from the Russia-Ukraine conflict snowballs, a new post-conflict future model is emerging. Some models abandoned years ago, including energy hoarding, are returning, and European and American ideals, such as the unity of democracies, are being gradually abandoned. With no sign of a big increase in global energy supplies, countries will behave in more unexpected ways. What happens when one country goes too far and crosses another country's red line? The risk is that a global energy war could turn into a truly violent conflict. And this is not the first time.